his phone. He's
I
got
saw
his freaking
I saw it.
face. He's got his freaking face stuck in the magic box. That's all he's
Isn't
looking
that
at right now.
everyone today, though? Isn't that everyone?
It's
Well,
the way
no,
we
it's not
age.
me and you, Colleen. It's fucking Dave and Chris right now.
Dave,
got-
fact of the day. What do you got?
Axe and arrow, butterscotch.
That is not fact of the day. That is drink of the day.
Oh,
What's your
Dave,
fact
you
of
know,
the day?
Dave, you left a berry one in my refrigerator that I'm gonna have.
try it. It's
this
good.
Mm.
Drink it.
Yeah, yeah, and there's a couple of the waffle ones in there too.
Yeah. So, fact of the day. So, bananas are technically berries, but strawberries aren't. The botanical term, a berry
ironically,
must
I
come
knew
from a
that.
single flower with one ovary and has seeds inside the flesh. Bananas fit.
What does a woman's ovary have to do with this?
This
But
is why he's not allowed
strawberries
on the
don't,
podcast.
because their seeds are actually on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
That's my fact of the day.
There you go.
So, bananas.
Just in
so
time
much
for summer fruit season.
Exactly.
There's so much I could say about that, but I'm not.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to go over to Stella's Farms and get me some fruit. Stella!
Stella!
Chris,
All right.
Yes.
and welcome to...
Yeah, like you want to pay attention, get your head out of the phone and do your.
Welcome to Three Friends and All the Things podcast, the show where filters go to die, opinions fly free, and laughter is basically a full-time job. They're not here to solve the world's problems. They are here just to make each other laugh and maybe learn a thing or two along the way. This is Three Friends and All the Things podcast, real talk for real people.
Welcome to Three Friends and All the Things podcast, brought to you today by yours truly, Chris, the awesomeness, Dave, the man, Colleen,
Here we
the
go.
extraordinary,
The
And Jay.
Collegend. That's right, Collegend.
Collegend, the legend, Collegend. Oh, yeah, and Jay.
And
Hi,
Jay
Jay.
the jaundiced. That was
I'm
the
not
only J
jaundiced.
word I could come up with.
Great.
Joint man Jay. Rah.
Wow. Wow.
God, I
Killing
missed you,
me,
buddy.
killing
I missed
me.
you so much.
I did not
glad
miss
you were
not
back
one
in here.
fucking one of you.
Miss
I
you,
know.
Never
you
once have I missed
suck.
you.
I
so
love
missed
you.
us. You
Never
so missed
once.
us. You did.
Never once.
So what are we talking about today, gang?
Okay,
Some
today we
dumb
are
shit.
talking about men and
Well,
the differences between our generation growing up, which we are the coolest because we are Gen X, is the men of today.
candy ass.
Mm.
Candy
If
ass.
you,
Candy
When we
ass.
say-
if you,
When
if
we
you can
say
call
men
them
of
men.
today, when we say men of today, like what age group?
I would say maybe
Jesus fucking
like,
Christ.
I don't know, maybe like 20s and upwards.
So
Like
like between like say
millennial
20 and 40.
forward?
I would say
44.
Not
well, you know,
probably after millennials.
yeah, like what is millennial like?
Millennials are
which age
23,
group is that?
24, 25.
Now wait. Okay, now wait. I had this all broken down and I don't know
Oh,
where it is.
We'll just wait for you.
Yeah,
It's okay.
A friend of
as you
mine
should.
has
Well,
As you
Good
should.
Friday's
children,
Has
around
and
the
her
jaundice-
corner.
children
has
are
jaundice-
her
your-
boys.
Your friend has jaundice.
Hello. Her boys are in their 20s and they're millennials because they were born 2001, 2003.
Mhm. It's funny because I definitely see a difference. My daughter is going to be 21, my son's 24, and I see just a difference in them.
Mhm.
By
But again-
gender or
No, just like my son is not very millennial-ish.
Mhm.
Not
So
that my
can I-
daughter is skews into that lane either. She's pretty good too, but it's just it's a difference.
yeah. So my general take on the whole thing is we maybe romanticize men in our generation,
Dave, this is
Um,
why I came on because I wanted to be a fair fight.
but
Yeah.
there are in fact drawbacks to
Although I
men
think Colleen's
in the
balls are
80s.
bigger than ours. Just saying.
Well, I mean,
Look, I don't care how big they are. I'm not going anywhere.
Right.
I mean, if I need to take you out, I will. I mean,
Yeah.
It's all right.
No,
Take
I
it.
think we romanticize Gen X a little bit. Our men were tough men, and they didn't wear Okay, this is an
Underwear.
actual true story. I was coming home from a doctor's appointment with my mom today, and I saw I guess we'll go with person since you're not allowed to genderize people anymore. I saw a person standing waiting for a bus wearing a hot pink foxtail.
Well, I got to get me
Is
one now.
Wait, is that a furry? Is that a furry?
It was
Are
just
you
the
kidding me
tail.
right now?
It
Are
wasn't the
you
whole
seriously gonna tell me
costume.
that?
But some
So
people
in
consider
our
that a furry.
in
Yeah,
our
yeah.
generation, we had manly men, and they didn't paint their nails, they didn't wear makeup, they weren't giving online Maybelline tutorials. They were men. But at the same time, while we romanticize that, they also, if you look back to our parents, were not exactly emotionally available, right?
No,
Like,
definitely
they
not.
worked and they provided, and the women had to do the housework and the cleaning, and the roles were defined. So
Yeah,
I think that
when I
while
was
we may
younger,
romanticize Gen X, I think there were in fact drawbacks.
Yeah.
But it's the makeup that gets me. I can't.
I could tell you this. Growing up, my dad worked all the time. My mom didn't start working probably till I was 8 or 9 years old. So she was stayed home for a while. But then back then, with my dad getting laid off and all because he would work for contractors here and there, things had to change. Like, so my mom finally went to work. But back in those days, you kind of you went on food stamps if you couldn't afford stuff. You did what you had to do to get by. So pink foxtail. I think if I'd have walked into my house with a pink foxtail and painted makeup on my face, not only would my grandfather probably put a gun to my head and just pull the trigger, bad pup, got to put him to sleep. My dad would probably have. My dad would have bled.
Put him out of
Yeah,
his misery.
my dad would have bludgeoned me to death. Seriously. And that's the thing. Like, and I think what aggravates me the most about all that is we have to bend for that. I don't bend, dude. Like I had an encounter at a college one time. I'm not going to tell you who the relative that I was with when I had this encounter. I'm going to keep that out of the public. But I went to visit a relative at a college just recently,
Yep.
probably in the
All
last
3 of
5
them.
years. And I went there, and and when I went there, I went in. We went to dinner, and then we went to a donut place. It was in Massachusetts. Went to a donut place. Walked in, and the guy
I'm
behind the
guessing it
counter.
was Duncan.
No, it was just it was a customized donut place. They did like customized donuts. They were big. They were huge. But you pick your donut. So the guy had pink
Who
hair.
knows?
I walk in. He makes eye contact with me. Now, listen. You want to have pink hair? That's you. That's on you. That's your dude. I don't care about that. But then
You
the
were
guy,
jealous
when he
because he
made,
had hair.
yeah, well, that was a thing too because he could paint it and it didn't fall out.
Right.
So my point was this: like the guy makes eye contact when he gets an attitude with me before I even open my mouth, and I'm not even the one opening my mouth. I'm sitting there where my relative is placing an order.
Can I ask a
And
question?
yeah,
Can I
No.
ask a question? The guy with the pink hair, was this just a random customer or was this a
no,
worker at
this
the
was a
donut
guy
place?
that worked behind the counter,
Okay.
and
Okay.
and my relative, which was a child of mine, ordered a smoothie, and it was dead of winter. The guy proceeds to say, and it says smoothies right on the back of the wall, says to her, there is a smoothie place down the street. You can go order one. And she's like, well, why would I do that when I get my donut and my smoothie to go? Because you make smoothies right
There's
here.
actually a barber instead of a pretty salon that you can go to, but no one's pointing that out, bitch.
No, but here's the thing that got me the most was he was so
Should I not
persistent
have
on
said
trying
that?
to get her to switch her order because his attitude was this. Well,
He didn't wanna
I
make
don't
the
understand why
smoothie.
you want one because it's dead of winter.
But
And
those
she's
are
like,
his.
because I want one. So, and we had already ordered the donuts. So we're walking down the street away from this place, and I stopped dead in my tracks, and I handed the donuts to my child's significant other, and my wife says, "Where are you going?" So I'm going back into that store, and I'm going to tell that piece of crap what I think of him.
Just 1 minute.
And then she says to me, actually, I wanted to do more than that, but I wasn't allowed. So I
Hold
could only say,
hold my donuts.
yeah, I wanted to take the donuts with me and smash them over the head with them, but I
It's
couldn't.
the
And then she
northeast
said,
northeast version of hold my beer.
Right, and she said to me, "Don't you dare do that because they live here and we don't need to attract attention
I
to them."
I I don't
And
know
that's
why
what
I came on
stopped
this
me in my
episode.
so so I'll be
So,
honest with you,
do
I
you
don't
guys
have no
think that
toleration for that.
do you
Huh?
guys think that we romanticize our Gen X version of manly men versus today's version, or do you think it's a valid criticism as to the lack of, I don't know the right word. Is it testosterone?
Penis.
Um
No, it's
is
called
it
Look,
it's called it's called
can I
disease. It's a disease.
okay, can I give you my experience here just for like a quick second, right? So,
Sure. Can you do it in
go
under
for it.
4 minutes?
yeah.
This is why
So,
he's not allowed on anymore.
correct. So,
I mean, is it better when I'm in your ear and you're trying to talk? Go ahead.
All
neither of
you,
the
Chris.
above. Neither of the above.
All right.
Okay, so dating in my 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever. I think as a female, you conform to what you think the guy wants you to be, right? So you want to fit in. You want to get the guy. The guy's into NASCAR. You may not like NASCAR, but you might fake that you like NASCAR, right? Even though it like steals your soul and kills you inside every time Sunday rolls around and you have to watch cars go round and round and round in a circle, right? But you want to come off as being cool and you want the guy to like you, right? So I think females kind of conform to that, right? So then you kind of get tired of the nonsense and then you move on to the next guy and then maybe the next guy and then like along the way you
That's
feel
three
like
guys in
you're
2 minutes, whore. Jesus
oh my
Christ.
god my hole.
What the hell?
So along the way you're conforming. It's kind of like Julia Roberts in Runaway Bride, right? Oh, what kind of eggs do you like? Scrambled, sunny side up, over easy. She didn't know, so she made a whole bunch and tried to figure it out for herself, right?
Mhm.
So, in your 20s, you don't know yourself. In your 30s, maybe a little bit more, but not so much. In your it takes a long time to really know yourself, right? So,
And
what
honestly,
I,
Chris, that only happens in your 40s because by the time you hit 50, you just don't care anymore.
well, that is true,
Yeah,
right?
that's
So then, like, I was married for 13 years and, I was like, oh, this is great. This is what married life is supposed to be like, except it wasn't, right? So I get divorced and then I meet Joe, right? Joe opens the car door for me. If I go to open the car door, I get, is there something wrong with your hand? Is there something wrong with your arm? Right? He opens the door and lets me walk in before him. He's always asking me, can I help you with anything? If we're grocery shopping, we go grocery shopping together. It's if it's really cold outside, he's like, "Get in the car. I'll load the groceries from the cart, whatever. Otherwise, we do it together. We come home. Okay, you feed the dog, I'll get the groceries. Okay, we do everything as a team,
Chris,
right?"
can I
And I've
ask you a
never
question?
Yeah,
Is he Gen X?
he is
I mean, he's not a millennial, right? That was the generation after us.
no, he's Gen X. Yeah, he's Gen X.
He's Gen X?
Mhm.
My ex, who's also Gen X, had never been in a grocery store in his life when I met him.
Yeah.
We have different Gen X's going
Jesus
on
fucking
here.
Christ.
And so I have realized that,
Say, I
looking
don't think we
back,
should be on here.
it's
I
like,
fucking
okay,
picked the wrong episode. I should just be
will
in
you
your
zip
ear as
your
much as. I'm sorry.
shut
I took away from your 20 minutes of time. Go ahead.
So I've realized like all the times I thought, "Well, yeah, this is how I should be treated," wasn't that way at all, right? So, now I have somebody who, in my definition of a man, is a man. He takes care of basically everything. Like, even if I go to get my oil changed in my car, well, I'm going to go take it on a Saturday. Oh, well, is there something wrong that I can't do that for you? Because he wants to make sure that not only that I don't get screwed over, oh, you need an air filter when you don't, and that's another $300, which is not needed, but he wants to make sure if you're out on that road, I want to make sure the tires have enough air, that your oil is clean, that you have windshield wiper fluid in case you break down or something happens. I want to make sure the car is up to
We
par,
all
you
agree
know?
that Chris ended up with a unicorn and that
I
is
really
not
did.
all Gen X men.
Does
I
your
really
Most
did.
Gen
unicorn have
X men
pink
that I
hair?
know
Does he
don't
have
have
pink
that
hair?
emotional
That is correct,
development.
Colleen. That is correct. And, but they are out there. They are out there. But until I met him, I did not think that people like him actually existed. And no, Dave, he does
Because
not have pink hair.
99% of our Gen X boys did not.
Mm-hmm.
They were still in that He-Man stage,
Mm-hmm.
chest thumping and I man, you woman. And
Yeah,
not a lot of them evolved from that. Don't
that's
raise your
correct.
hand. You haven't evolved either.
I've evolved because
I got to
Damn.
disagree with that.
I
So go
I
ahead,
w-
Jay. You can
He's
start.
evolved. He went from Jay to Richard. What are you talking about?
I actually no, I'm actually going to go back to the original question. As
Mm-hmm.
fascinating as your whole 25-hour statement was, Chris,
Keep
going
it up.
back to Colleen's question, which was, um, did we romanticize Gen
Today,
X?
Junior.
Are you done?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did we romanticize Gen X? So I don't think we romanticized it. I think the fact of the matter is the waters are muddied now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where I don't think it I like and I know Joe. I think Joe is old fashioned. I wouldn't call him Gen X. I would call him old fashioned. Like to me, that's a difference. But we've muddied the waters now, and now we're talking about fucking millennials versus Gen X, which is dumb
Mm-hmm.
because it's just a matter of you're old school, you have manners, or you don't have manners, where you
Yep.
think your opinion matters. Like Dave, you know what? Why are you getting a slushy? I wouldn't get a slushy. I don't understand why you're getting a slushy. I'm going to take my time making your slushy. You're you're doing a job. Do it. Shut up. But
Yeah, nobody
I I,
nobody cares what your opinion
I
is
don't.
about it. Just do your
Yeah,
job.
right. I don't think it's about romanticizing Gen X because I think Gen X is probably one of the closest to old fashioned, that
Mm-hmm.
definition, than
Mm-hmm.
what we get. And Joe is old fashioned. I mean, that's actually
Yep.
a perfect example, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, because
If we
because
could
nowadays,
marry,
wait, just one more thing. Sorry, but what like Chris, take a younger woman in
Mm-hmm.
today's world and
Mm-hmm.
have a guy open a door for her.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck are you doing? You think I can't
come
And
do that?
on. Are you
and
saying
I
I'm
will say,
incapable?
but I
I
will say
honestly,
this. I will
go
say
ahead.
this. When he first started doing that, right? I was like, oh, he's probably just trying to impress me. What is he doing? I'm perfectly capable of opening my own door, right? And it took me a while to realize that I am lucky enough to have a guy who
Basic human manners.
who wants to open the door for me, who wants to give me stakeholdership in, decision making, where other guys are
Well,
like,
that's just
you can open your own door. You're fine. You can open your door. Like they don't, you know what I mean? They don't think about it. Where Joe will open the door for me all the time. And it took me a long time to take that step back and realize I'm not giving up my independence. I'm just seeing that he wants to do this because this is how he was raised and how he was brought up and just what he wants to do. He wants to
but
be respectful and he
But
wants
again,
to,
the water is muddied.
Mhm.
It's muddy waters because there's a catch 22. He can hold that door for you, and then the woman could bitch and say, "What? Why are you being so creepy like that? It's Me Too movement." This that they
Right.
Or Jay, I don't even. I agree with you, but I think there's more to this than that. Actually, they
what
don't
then
really
what? I just
care.
saw your figures do this. I don't know what this was or what that was. So
No, what
explain
I'm
that.
saying, and you're saying they're more like, well, that's creepy. I don't know that that's what they're going to say. I see more. I see more of they don't even realize what the men of today are trying to do for them. They don't even care. Like I don't think they even
Yeah,
understand what opening the door is. Like for them, it's
I
just
th-
like I don't care if you're
I
opening the
think
door. Who
there's
cares?
some of that, Dave. Dave, I think there's some of that because I also think like, it's funny. Oh my God, he was so nice. He opened the door for me. He's flirting with me. That old guy wants me. Are you?
Mhm.
I'm.
It's
holding
just
the door
but
basic
closed.
but
manners,
how
man.
often do you hear
When
that,
did
though? Like, if you and
manners
I
A
were going
lot.
out on a
Dave, a
date
lot.
now.
Da
Really?
Dave, a
when
lot.
did manners become flirting?
Yeah,
That's what I don't get.
it's
Yeah,
all over the
well, yeah, you're
workplace.
right.
In the
That
workplace, you have to be super careful.
we're
Yeah,
going
like
that
think
route, then yes, I have
it
to agree with you. There's something
Dave.
behind it. There's
Dave, if
something
you
behind
don't whether listen, unless it's your wife,
Right.
everybody should be treated like you're at the workplace because they all have that mentality. If you're
Yep.
at a supermarket and you do that, they could turn around and say, "That guy's creepy. He helped me with my groceries. I didn't need his help. I don't want him near my car."
Yeah, and where you don't get that pushback and that sense of that mindset is from somebody that,
Brothels.
1, they're s they're 60, 70, or 80 years old because they
Pink
understand.
Pony Club.
Mhm.
Like, I can't tell you how many old women that were going out of church that were on a walker that couldn't get out. I walked them down the steps to get them to their car because they couldn't do it.
There
They're
you
the
go,
type of
stud.
people that they
Right,
understand
but
it.
they're older women. If you
Yes,
go
exactly, that's what I'm
generations
saying.
on
which
the
is why
other
they understand
Yes.
side,
it.
That's why they understand it. The kids of
okay,
today, and honestly, it's I've went over this with Chris we had this conversation in another episode. My middle son, years ago, we were going into Wawa, and I trained them all to open the door when they're dating
Mhm.
or their mother or their grandmother. You open the door and you let them in. You help them get in. My
Mhm.
son ran in front of me, and I'm like, "Where's he going?" I'm like, "Slow down, you're gonna get hurt." He ran just because he wanted to beat the lady to the door and open the door for her. He was 10 years old when he did that.
So glad he finished that
And you know what
sentence,
the
actually.
lady said to me? She goes,
Or
That's a
beat the
that's
lady.
I got credit." And I didn't want credit because it's just who I am. She's like, "Not many men train their kids to do those things anymore. And
yeah.
Mhm.
if they do, their kids don't always follow through." She thought it was
I
the
have to
neatest
tell
thing that he
you,
actually did it.
from my personal experience with millennial children, which is one friend of mine who has kids that are in their 20s, I don't know that it's generational as opposed to just the way they were raised because her boys are respectful and communicative and don't mind hanging out with mom's friend. They're decent human beings. So I can't say that it's millennials, the generation that has this deficit. I don't know any of the future generations, though. I haven't had any interactions with Gen Z and Alpha, and I love that they call themselves Alpha and have no idea what it means. I don't have any experience with those to know, but just from what I see on TV and online, that sense of taking care of yourself and then others seems to be missing. It all
Okay,
seems
so
to be take care
Gen
of
Z
me.
Gen Z, just so we're all on the same page, is 1997 to 2010. That is the age bracket or the
Okay.
year.
Really?
Yeah,
The
Gen Z.
2010.
What
So
are millennials?
you're looking at
Millennials are 1981 to 1996.
Oh,
16,
wow.
Yeah,
2010
Wait.
is
so I
16
just
years
wanted to
old.
point out the age bracket since you're talking about Gen Z. So
Okay,
people
well,
know like
I got
what years we're
I
talking
got
about.
one name. It's not a
Uh,
name of a person, but I got a name of an individual that is the cause of a lot of this, and it's called the helicopter parent.
oh
mm,
yes.
yeah,
That's
we
the
did create a
Let's
lot
main
of
talk
this
about the
cause of
ourselves.
the
helicopter
issue.
parent.
No.
Let's
We're talking about men versus today versus back then.
Just
but
like
that
that,
is
she was
part of
ready to
it.
take that whole outline and just say, "Fuck it," right out
No,
the
no,
window.
no. No, but helicopter parenting was in the outline because you get the parent like our age group, which is the greatest Gen X.
We hope
Our
you make it
parents,
home by dark,
I
our
think we should
generation.
get
parents, right.
T-shirts made that say Gen X on them.
We totally should. Everyone's getting one for Christmas. Okay. Gen X parents were the ones that, they basically, we were like latchkey kids. We were latchkey kids, right? It was very rare in my situation. My mom was a nurse. She worked nights because she wanted a parent home during the day. My dad worked during the day, and then my mom would go and work night shift, right? Fine, whatever. So we
Oh,
always had a parent
Needed
that was
someone at
home.
home for when those calls came from Catholic school that Chris was being bad.
Correct, which may have happened once or twice. But I had friends who both of their parents worked and they would come home to an empty house and, have to do their homework and they'd have to start dinner. But so by the time their parents got home, dinner was starting to be made or, was ready to sit down and eat. But today's parents are helicopter parents. You have parents who are, you have to be on Life 360 so I can track every single move that you make. Or I have to be, why don't you bring your friends over here so I can watch every little move that you make and hear what you're talking about and see what you're doing. And,
Scheduled play dates.
Or how
What
about
is that?
if you participate in sports, you should get a trophy regardless where
Can I
you
tell you,
finish.
I honestly believe that that's where society failed because we
Mhm.
never taught our kids how to lose.
Nope.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a big difference
Just a
because in
show
our
of
day,
hands.
Go ahead,
Just a
Ka.
show of hands out of everyone here. How many of you guys broke into your own house because you forgot your latchkey?
I never broke into my house because I left the door open somewhere so I can get in.
I did it. I did it.
And I would
And there's-
sneak out and then my dad would bust me.
My sister.
brother could pop a screen in a window in like 12 seconds to break us
Colleen, that
back
was
into
good.
the
But
house.
first of all, I'm only 3 foot tall and the friggin' closest window was about 30 feet up.
Yeah.
All right, well let's discount the gnomes in the group.
Yeah.
So I would have to break.
Yeah.
I would have to break into my house. Here's a good one. If I forgot my key, I would have to break into my house while my mother was home, asleep during the day.
I believe that.
Because if you woke her
It's
up in the middle of the day, she was going to kick your ass and kick you out anyway.
She
'Cause
just
this
didn't
was
like
her-
you, Jay.
I don't think she liked anybody, including herself. But whatever.
The Young
Dude, I'll
and the
never
Restless
forget.
was on, man.
love
You were
Marlene.
not interrupting the Young and the Restless.
I never
Yeah.
forget National Cut Day. We did National Cut Day. I never forget that. I went downstairs and waited for my father used to leave at 5 in the morning. So my mom's like, "You better not stay home. He knows it's National Cut Day. You better go to school." I'm like, "Okay." She left. I stayed in the basement. So I waited. Everything was clear. I go outside. I start doing some things. I'm hanging out. I go back in the house, hanging out, eating, watching TV, and I hear a click on the door. I'm like, "What's that?" I look outside. My dad's home. I'm like, "What the hell's he doing home?" I ran out the back door, ran into the woods, and I stayed the next 4.5 hours in the woods, sitting in the middle of the woods, doing nothing. I was so pissed. And I'm like, now I got to figure out how to get to the front of the house without him seeing me and go up to where the bus drops me off. When the bus leaves, I got to walk down. So you want to talk about briars in the ass of my school clothes? Holy shit. It was bad. It was a bad
So
idiot.
you guys hear online about, us Gen X that we were a pretty tough generation. We were
Mhm.
left to our own devices for the most part. And you have this new generation that they're afraid to take the trash out when it's dark. Like, do you think that's true? Like, I don't have exposure
So-
to those kids, but is
I
that
think
true?
a lot of that is helicopter parent, and a lot of that is phobia. I think you're seeing
Mhm.
more and more phobias out there, and that's the way they
It's a
define it.
narrative pushed on society, Dave.
I agree.
All of this,
I agree 100%.
absolutely. I think.
I agree 100%.
I think that first of all, when we were kids, did you know we were Gen Xers?
Nope. Ain't
Well,
nobody care about
everybody is-
that. That wasn't even a
Everybody
discussion.
everybody is so well aware of what they are because it's all over the news. Everybody has phobia of a fucking furry thing on their trash can because it was on the news or it's on their favorite podcast or
Could go
it's a
like
character they
that
pick on
one.
a video game.
Or it's attached
Whatever.
to your pants because apparently you now have a tail, but whatever.
Right.
Well, wait,
whatever,
hold on.
right?
Let's
Hold on,
not
we could go off on
disparage
this one.
Drunken Raccoon.
So,
What-
but
You guys
here's-
all know he's my
Go
spirit
ahead, Jay.
animal.
I'm
So-
going to respond after you. John.
So I truly believe that society, whatever format is, maybe back then it was newspapers or whatever. Now it's social media, internet. They push their opinion, and I don't know. I find that especially when we put this podcast out, this one in particular, you will see, Chris. We've been dealing with this. We'll get something where it'll say, well, you'll talk about the good old days and being left outside and your mom screaming and yelling and then beating your ass because you came in late. And that person turned around and said, well, that's child abuse now. And
Oh, yeah.
that's why you have therapy. And what do you
Yeah.
Well, discipline.
I
this is-
must have missed
this
out
is
on
why-
that therapy.
So now you have people like that, right? You have people like that making other people go, well, I'm not going to hit my kid because that guy's going to think I'm a child abuser.
So you know what
I
you do?
don't.
Very true.
Then you can't discipline your kid. So the guy that says you're abusing your kid, you go discipline him. Say, listen, if I can't hit my kid, I'm going to smack you. This, I know I get it taken care of. You know what I'm
Listen,
saying?
you guys
Like,
have heard me wax nostalgic about the ability to throat punch someone, right?
Uh-huh.
And
I
how that
love
has
a good
gone from
throat punch,
today's
a good
society.
one.
A good one, just a good clip across the jaw or a little jab to the throat, you know, just to
Jab to the
straighten
throat.
someone out that's veered off the path of normal human behavior. And we don't have that anymore. And I do think that that's
Colleen.
missing.
Stop, Colleen. Explain normal behavior.
Excessive entitlement. I have
That's normal
feelings.
behavior.
Excessive entitlement? That's not normal behavior.
No,
That's
I said,
I'm
yeah, but
sorry.
explain to
Abnormal
me normal.
behavior to
Okay,
me.
okay, okay.
Abnormal behavior is excessive entitlement. It's I have feelings and the whole world has to go around me and my feelings. That's not normal behavior. That is a self-centric. We never develop past the ego stage into super ego. And we did entire generations a disservice by babying them and telling them that you can have. I'm not saying you can't have feelings. I'm saying the whole world doesn't revolve around you having feelings. Have them, deal with them, suck it up, and move on. But that may just be the Gen X of me speaking out.
Hashtag coddle.
Dare you.
Listen, my kids used to
Shame
fall,
on
and
you.
I used to tell them, get up and brush it off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Just brush it off.
You're
My
so
cousin,
mean.
my
You
cousin,
can't
when he
do
was
that
little,
now.
broke.
That's child abuse now.
No, my cousin,
Yes.
when he was little, broke his arm jumping over a rope. I picked him up. He was holding his arm. He's like, it hurts, it hurts. I'm like, give me that thing. I grabbed his arm and I was shaking. I'm like, just shake it out, shake it out. It was fractured in two.
Dave,
Get out.
that's
Listen,
Dave, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. You're just an asshole.
listen,
Sorry.
I fell off my bike. I came
I'm
home,
just saying.
told my mother that my arm hurt so bad, I think I broke my wrist. And she turned it this way, and she turned it that way, and she turned it this way. And she said, absolutely not. You're fine. Go upstairs to your room. Leave me alone. And the next day I came down, and it was black and blue from my fingers to my forearm and swollen twice the normal size. And she was like, yeah, I guess maybe we should get an x-ray. There were fractures, but that was what we grew up with. You know, it didn't look bad, so you rubbed some dirt on it and you carried on. You didn't cry about my feelings were hurt. You didn't cry about my arm was broken.
You know what?
Why would
Because
you
if
cry
you-
about your feelings?
Because if you cry, I'll give you something to cry
To
about.
cry about. Thank you.
Exactly.
God.
And that's
All
the
right,
other thing.
Exactly.
So doing the producer thing here, I'm going to try to bring
Okay.
us back. Try to bring us back a little bit. All right. We started this about how men today are different from men of us growing or the time we grew up. And I honestly think again, the water is muddied up here because we have society who's changed it. I think roles have changed it too. And I know like some of us have talked about this too, like women's roles in a house, as they became more competitive with men in the workplace, salaries, so on and so forth. Men were staying home and doing housework, and then people automatically saw that as, well, you're weak, you're not a man. And now somewhere in between that, it's a little bit more acceptable. And I hate to
Acceptable.
use these words, but
No, you're right.
reality is,
No, I agree.
right.
I'll
Right.
be
And
honest.
then you,
I'm going to touch on that too. With growing up in a house of three boys, well, my dad would be four. My mom raised us. My dad took care of us and raised us to be men. But my mom also said a good man knows how to mop a floor. A good man knows how to cook dinner for his wife. A good man
Correct.
knows how to vacuum and clean the house on top of all the man stuff that the men do. So now my kids think I'm nuts. They think I got OCD, which I probably do. Part of it's
I'm
OCD.
just Dave. I'm the same way. Yeah. No,
I'll
know.
vacuum and shampoo my rugs once a week because I don't like dirt.
Right.
I'll do the dishes every single time I see a dish in the sink. I'm throwing my. I'm
Same.
like, what are we doing here?
Same.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
And then you get
again,
pissed
I
at-
have to say that for the younger generation, the thing that I envy the most is their emotional relatability. I think that that they have No, I think they have a capacity to be compassionate towards feelings, whereas before, when men had feelings, it was a sign of weakness.
Right. Yeah. Yeah,
Now, I'm
and I
not
think
saying
you're
that the
right.
world
That's
should
gone that way.
revolve around their feelings, but I like the fact that they have them and they're
No,
not
let's be
afraid to
fair.
express them.
Feelings are stupid. Feelings are stupid. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, let's
feelings
Gen
are
What are
X
stupid.
says,
feelings? What are feelings? I don't
Feelings,
have any
feelings are
yeah.
stupid.
Yeah.
feelings.
Well, the reality of
Nothing
feelings
but
today compared to
feelings. Sorry.
compared to what it was prior, like when we grew up, is nobody can regulate your feelings. There's a lot more um emotional immaturity where some people have too much feelings and they think that that's okay because that's theirs. I have a lot of feelings too, but like, I
Yeah.
can't always say it.
I told my dad I got
Yeah.
feelings one time. He said, "Here's something you want to feel," and a back slap right across the mouth.
Dude, Dave,
I think
Make me
I
maybe,
feel
got a
twice.
story. So, but here, I got a great story. I once said to my dad,
Here,
I'm like,
buddy. What
I,
pow? Seriously, now
I,
you can
w-
feel
I,
both
w-
feel
of them.
that.
I was
Yeah.
being sarcastic with my dad one day, and I'm like, yeah, he's like, oh, you don't need. I wanted to go out or something. He's like, no, 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 it's too late. You don't want to go out. I'm like, great, I'll just stay home and bond with you, right? And he's like, bond with me, and unfortunately, my dad didn't know what that word, like, it wasn't clicking what that
You're
word
not going to
was.
tell me you handcuffed each other too.
No, he yelled at me. He's like, "Why are you talking to me like that?" I'm like, "Look, I just want to bond with you, dude. We're talking. Do you think we're arguing, Dad? I think we're bonding." He's like, and I remember him getting pissed off. My mom going, "It's not bad, John. It's not bad. Yeah, no, yeah."
Yeah, take
Uh,
a breath. It's okay.
because
Although
he
I
was just
have to
like, "What's
say,
bond? You're not
they,
hugging me, you motherfucker." That's.
I think
I
I think
think, I think I miss.
there was definitely more of a masculinity factor in our generation where now the the men are, like you guys said, like they're saying, oh, I feel this way, I feel that way, where, as Colleen previously said, it was seen as a sign of weakness in our day growing up. Men wanted to be seen as men and you don't show feelings. Like I remember going to, I was at a funeral. I don't remember whose it was. I was at a funeral and I remember seeing my dad there and I could tell he was upset, but he was putting on that brave face. Like there was no tears, whatever. But
Yeah,
then
they didn't cry
now,
in public because I
right,
caught my
right.
dad
Mhm.
crying one time in the bedroom. There was
One
something that
time.
happened. I don't know what it was, but he was in
Yeah.
the bedroom. He was crying to my mom, and it was the first time I ever seen my dad shed a tear. He would not do it in front of us because we
Uh-huh.
were
Hmm.
boys. Now I'm sure if I had a sister, might be different. I don't know, but he would never do it in front of us, and he always did it in his room. So I remember walking by the room,
Yeah.
just glancing in and hearing him cry. He was bawling, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Hmm.
wow, like never thought in a million years I
And
would
it
see my
shook
dad break
your
down.
world, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
I'll say this much, it taught me that my father was human. My dad,
Hmm.
hmm
even though I thought was my idol and my superhero at that time and the way he raised
Right.
me, he raised me to be a good man. I thought then, I was like, "Okay, so my dad is human." And then
Uh-huh.
as I grew up, I understood it. You know what? As grown men, we can cry. We
You know,
listen,
Hmm.
things happen,
you know what,
and you're
Dave?
gonna be
Hmm.
emotional.
That's so funny you say that because the first time I saw my dad cry was when my grandfather died, his father.
Yep,
Hmm.
that's I saw that too. Yep.
It's my one
Literally.
time too.
So we spent the whole night at the hospital. I was 15 years old. I'll never forget it. Spent the whole night at the hospital, and we finally drove home the next morning because we just needed to take a shower. Soon as we were walked into the door with the phone ringing, and it was the hospital. He passed. And my dad's like, he waited for us to go. So the car ride back up the Methodist, right? I hear these weird fucking noises. I don't know how else to explain it. And I look over and my dad is trying to hold in his tears and he let out this like sound I'd never heard before. And I realized he was crying and I thought we were going to die because he was driving. And
Mm.
I it was like I remember being panicked like are you going to die now? Because it was
Is
so
Are
everyone
you
foreign.
dying?
okay? Are you
Right, it
okay,
was
dad?
so foreign that my dad was
Yeah.
dying, like,
Mm.
crying, not dying, crying. But, yeah, but same thing.
Listen,
I'll tell
I
you,
saw my dad
and in this,
cry
and
when his father died, and it was world shaking. It
yeah,
shook
Uh-huh.
everything I knew about
and
being
I'll
a
tell you, I
man.
saw a different
But
side to
I
that too.
will I will say that when I got into my 20s and 30s, all of a sudden my dad became this emotional basket. Like, he cried at weddings and he cried at Thanksgiving and he
That's
cried at
age.
Christmas,
Yeah,
and
that's
yeah, like it
That's
just
age.
some dam broke.
yeah.
That's
My dad's in his 70s now. My dad had a aortic dissection when he was 59. He wasn't supposed to live. There was a time where I saw my dad break down twice, crying behind closed doors. I saw a different side of him then. And then I saw a really intriguing side of him when he knew that it was life or death and it was 50-50. Like, it wasn't even like an upside to it. It was dead even. And it all depended on the doctor. And he had one of the best doing the operation. And the doctor told him, I'm the best and I'm your 50-50 shot. So you might not make it. He told him flat out.
Yeah.
I've never seen my old man at that point. I don't know that he was scared. If he was, he did not show it. He was like, all right. He looked right at my mom, said, you know where everything is? Get it all in order. When Dave gets here, let him know what's going on. Have the doctor talk to him, sit him
it's
down,
it,
explain him where
it's a
everything's
different
at.
breed, man. It's
It
a
is.
But
different breed.
I think
He's a
with
tough,
that,
he's tough as nails, dude. That cat is tough as nails.
Like,
And
my
he's
dad
still
had
breathing.
open heart surgery, Dave. I'll never forget this. And when he woke up, he had the tube all the way down. And he literally grabbed the doctor at the end of the bed with one arm and went, like, get it out.
yeah.
Right?
So I have a question. Do you think that today's generation is not only more in touch with their own feelings, but also with women's feelings? That they acknowledge that that when we're in a bad mood, it's not just PMS as it used to be
You
written
talking
off
about the younger
as.
generation, or you talking
I-
The
about
younger
us?
generation, yeah.
I
I don't
Because
know.
I
our
don't know.
generation, if you had a mood,
I don't know.
it was
I don't
written off
know.
as PMS.
I
Right?
think-
Oh,
Chris,
all the
hear me on
time.
this.
She, not to be discussing, she must be on the rag again.
She's on the
Oh,
rag. Yes.
she's
If
on the
you were a bitch
rag,
at
she's got
work, you were
PMS.
on the rag.
She's riding the
Yes.
cotton
Well,
pony. The whole, it was
listen,
always. But
when
now,
when my daughter's in a mood, I know because I've been
Uh-huh.
around her. I married her mother. We're not married anymore. But when I was with her mother, I could sense when it was happening because you just know
That was a
you're
weird
married, you're
segue,
with them
Dave,
for a long
but-
time, huh? What's that?
I said that was
just
a
ignore
really
him,
weird.
Dave. It's
The
fine.
way you
So-
said that was weird.
I
So
know,
my
but it's
question-
true.
my
Being around them
question
for
for
so
you,
long, you
though.
get to understand their patterns.
Yeah, but see,
Yes,
the other thing,
but in
and this,
our
I have a question for the
generation-
women.
Go
I have a
ahead.
question for the women because I feel like in today's world, and maybe I'm wrong, women, younger women, use PMS as an excuse. Where I feel like you guys, since we were in grade school, you didn't use it as an excuse. It was more like a gate to not fuck with you at that time. At least you two, because I remember you two being bitchy in
Listen to
grade school.
this.
We're still bitchy.
Listen,
Yeah.
I came out that way.
Come
I
a
didn't,
little
I didn't grow into
closer.
that. I
Don't be
started this
shy.
way. But
Come
I
and knock
will
on
say
my
this.
door. No.
When
Get away. Stop touching the door, Jay.
You want to
15
shut up
years
and let
ago.
Colleen answer? Jesus.
No, how's it feel?
15 years ago, or even 10 years ago, menopause was a woman being emotional. Get
Okay.
over it. It wasn't a studied science that there were hormonal changes and physiologic changes and that your body was rebelling on you. And we grew up in a generation where you didn't look for those excuses. You just sucked it up and moved on and tried not to murder a bitch. Right?
Correct.
And that's why
Mhm.
divorce was low too, because people dealt with depression. They didn't go on medication. It was just they were depressed. I mean, I earlier in this, I mentioned my mom sleeping all the time during the day. She was a manic depressant,
Mhm.
but they didn't diagnose it then, right?
No,
they didn't
and-
diagnose menopause and
couple-
premenopause and
Right. There was no
premenopause.
diagnosis for that. But then you have like your mom and dad, because they were so old school. The toughest times they had, they worked through it. They just stuck it out.
Right.
Yeah.
You
right.
just put your
Yeah.
head down and you kept going.
yeah.
You kept
And now
going.
you
And if
have
that
an
meant you didn't
entire
talk
new
for a couple weeks
generation.
until you worked through it, you didn't talk for a couple
Yeah.
weeks and you worked through it. And the kids were like, what the heck's going on with them? They ain't talking. But now, you get married now and that happens. They're ready to like, I got to get divorced. I got to start over. This is not
Mhm.
working.
Because
Dude,
Well,
like it's so
marriage
divorce
seems
easy.
is an
temporary
easy
now.
option.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Divorce is an easy option.
So listen,
I
when
mean,
we were in
you know.
grade school, and you know how we each took turns dating Jay? That's what marriage feels like to the next generation. That's
Um,
come up.
I did not
I
date Dave.
I did not
Yeah.
participate in this
Just
expose
want you
that
to
you
know,
two did.
I did not date Dave
Okay, it was
at
You
only
know what
all.
Jay used to do to me
75% of
when
our
I was running
Yeah.
through the hallways in my wrestling
Right.
fatigues? He would
Right.
stick his head out of the classroom and go, "You're
don't
doing a
want-
great job, Dave. You're doing a great
Yeah.
Now
job."
you know
Did he
why,
smack you on your butt,
Dave. Now
too?
you know why.
Did he smack you on your butt
Eh.
too? As
No,
you ran
he used to
by
he
and
used to break my stones when I'd
But
run
see-
by. Yeah, you need to do one
but you know-
more, one more.
Yeah, it's fucking up. But you know, Dave, that's actually an interesting point, right? Because I want everybody to think about this for a second. In our day, if we wanted to lose weight or have a better body, we worked hard at it.
Mhm.
Today, it's all something else. Nobody, I just feel like there's a lot of routes that have been given to people and these generations that make things easier.
I
Yeah,
think
I
a
was
lot
gonna
of
say
Getting out of
easy.
marriage.
it's
They get
called
an easy out. They get an
excuses.
easy out.
It's called
No,
Easy
I
out.
agree. I agree with Jay that they have more opportunities, but I agree with Chris that they're taking advantage of those and using
Mhm.
them as crutches
Mhm.
and excuses.
Mhm.
They have things that we never had. They had weight loss medication, and they have mental health access, and they have all of these opportunities where we were told to suck it up. They
Mhm.
have an outlet, but instead of using that outlet to become a productive person of society, they've decided that I'm labeled as this, and now you have to flow around me. I'm the rock in the river, and you have to flow around me. And there's only, well,
It's
listen, there's only
called they
so
don't
much of
take
that a Gen
and they
Xer can
don't
take.
take ownership. They don't take ownership of anything unless it's
Nothing.
successful.
Why
If
would
it's
they
It's all
take
someone
failure,
ownership
else's
when they
fault.
could pull from here and say, no, you know, I have mental. You're not giving me a mental health day.
Jay,
You're
you
giving me
triggered me.
18,000. Yeah, yeah. I triggered you. You're giving me 18,000 other PTO days, but you're not giving me a mental health day. I should have
Mm.
3 of them because other
And I
people.
think
Yeah.
I think a lot of that is because we #coddle them.
Because we
We
gave everyone a trophy instead of letting them learn how to lose.
bingo,
because
bingo.
too many people I think the
And
reason
the
why
woman
it's
has
so blown out
spoken.
of proportion is because too many people just
She
didn't
said
want to
blown out.
deal.
He's like a
Listen,
12-year-old in a man's body.
listen, I
Mhm.
know how to shoot a gun, okay? So you better watch yourself.
Can you hit me from Illinois? No.
I'm a little
Hey.
closer.
Hey.
Listen, I'm an ACO. I'll take you out on her behalf.
Thank you, Colleen. No, I
Ali-
think the problem
Colleen will
is
cut your
that
throat. She'll send you to the early grave, jeez.
Say hello to my little friend.
okay, are you two
This is a
idiots
whole.
done?
So this is a
Yeah,
whole
sorry.
reversal.
Yeah, this
Usually, everyone else couldn't get a word in edgewise with Chris, and now we're just making it
Yeah, I know,
the other way
I know.
around.
I'm
Horrible.
sorry, Chris. I apologize.
Karma. No, I think it started when, all these changes started happening and people in our generation or like maybe like, towards the end of our generation flowing into the next, they just didn't want to deal with it. So it's like, okay, well, we'll meet you halfway. I'll meet you 50-50. So you want a mental health day? Okay, well, you know what? I'll give you an extra day off and you can go, and then next thing you know, it's like everybody gets a trophy and and the one thing that I cannot stand is
Oh,
when
preach it,
it
sister.
is somebody's birthday when it comes to children and it's somebody's birthday. You give the birthday child a
Those
gift,
fucking
but
kids
you
who
have
have
to give
birthdays, I'm right there with you.
no. But you have
Oh.
to give the siblings a gift too because they feel left out. I don't believe in that. I don't.
Dude,
Yeah,
there were
I
some
don't
times
believe
where
in that.
nobody showed up on my damn birthday.
Right.
Listen,
Right.
my
Let alone
birthday
my
is next to
brothers getting a
Memorial
gift.
Day. Do you know it took me 16 years to have a birthday party because it was goddamn Memorial Day? Let alone my siblings.
My mother
don't even
forgets
get
my
me
Horrible.
birthday
started.
Horrible,
almost every
Colleen,
year,
horrible.
so that's
God,
okay.
Colleen,
I have-
you're so ungrateful. Towns actually put fireworks up for your birthday.
You know what,
For
Colleen?
me.
You're so
Yeah, right.
emotional, Colleen. You need to
Yeah.
take a break. You need to take a
Emotional.
time
I
out.
must
You're
have
emotional.
menopause.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chris,
Seriously, kids have
Pre-
birthday
pre-
parties.
pre-
menopause. Yeah.
Yeah, but kids have parties and it's like, oh, it's little Kim's birthday. Oh, but we have to give her brother Bobby something small because he's going to feel left
No, I'm
out.
giving something
No.
So
small.
was
Foot me.
so is
No.
Kim a rapper and her brother's Bobby Brown?
So to follow on
Yeah.
Chris's point, though, do you think it's because our generation was an adult by age 8 that we just got tired of all the bullshit and decided that we would coddle them so we didn't have to listen to the complaining?
So this is what I think. I think it's because our parents were like, I'm not fucking parenting. I don't want to do this. I'm gonna need to limit this down because if it's gonna take me 18 years to get this kid as an adult, I'm gonna have him done by 10. That's why my mom taught me how to cook, how to do laundry, because it wasn't because she wanted me to be a better man, which of course it wind up being that make me better, cleaning, cooking, laundry, all that. It was because she didn't want to fucking do it.
Love
It's
you.
that
Well-
simple.
Yep.
Well,
Love you, brother.
Listen,
to follow
in
that up,
all fairness,
If you
I
run for mayor
decided
of
one
Echo, got
day,
my vote 2 times.
I decided one day to tell my mother that she did my laundry wrong.
That was
Wait,
dope.
whoa, what I missed?
Guess how
What-
many
what-
times
what?
after that my mother did my laundry?
0.
0.
Yep.
That was now my job. If I was going to critique her on how to do it,
Then
Well,
do it yourself.
there you go, smart ass.
if you don't like
Have
the
at
way
it.
I do it
Do it
yourself.
yourself.
Right.
Mhm.
And I think
Yeah.
I think that element of parenting may be missing. And I know I'm going to get
No.
crucified for this because I'm not a parent, but I think that we moved on to Chris's hashtag coddling, and
Mhm.
that element of take responsibility. Like if you feel that way, okay.
That-
but
that
then
ki- I
live
gotta
up
speak to that
what
before-
that feeling
before we
is.
lose
Live
track,
up to
I gotta
that
speak on that,
standard that you
Colleen.
set.
I don't know.
Say that
If you're
again.
going to walk the walk, or if you're going to talk the talk,
Talk
you
the
better
talk.
walk. You better
I'm
walk
going to
the
tell you
walk.
something. In my house, if they don't do it the way I do it myself. They see that and it drives them nuts because, like, I'll do it. I'm like, no, I already told you how to do it. If you're not going to do it the way I want to do it, just get away from me. I'll do it myself. Get
Yeah,
out.
that's a Gen X thing, though. That's a Gen X
That's a-
thing. I know how to
that's
do
a-
it, and I know how to do it best. So
That's
Now,
a,
I
that's
will
a
say-
hashtag control freak.
Now, I will say, right? So,
OCD.
so-
what?
yeah. So since Joe and I have been living together, right? We have a rule. The last one out of bed has to make the bed. That's the
Mhm.
rule, right? Now, there are times where, he's the last one out of bed, but he'll go and he's feeding the dog and I get out of the shower and I'm like, oh, well, I got to get my clothes out. I'm right here. I'll just make the bed. No big deal. Not a problem. Like it's no big deal, right? Does he make the bed like I make the bed? No. You can bounce a quarter off the bed when I make it. It's like, military style, right? Everything's
least
all
he
like
did it.
perfect. But he makes the bed.
Dear Joe, Chris is talking shit about
and-
how you make the bed.
You're an idiot. But he's like, oh, I'm
She
sorry,
can
the
bounce
bed's
a
not
quarter,
made
but
as
you can
well
only
as
bounce a
you,
nickel.
like as well as you do it. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, did you put in the effort to make the bed? Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all I ask. And you did it.
Mhm.
So who cares? Right. So
and when you
I
make the
come
bed, never
home,
mind.
I come home and he will apologize to me. Oh, I'm sorry. I left dishes in the sink. I'm sorry. I didn't make the bed. Why are you apologizing? Like, it's totally fine.
Unicorn.
It's
Can we
fear.
talk about the unicorn that is Joe?
Yes,
fear.
that is true. That is
Yes.
true.
It's
but
fear.
I
Fear.
mean,
Did you say it's
It's
fear?
fear. It's fear. Absolutely. And
A
I would say this to Joe.
Believe me, it is not fear.
unicorn.
Hey,
It
I
is-
will tell
He's
Joe.
afraid
it's
you're going
fear.
to kick his ass.
No,
He's
listen,
afraid he's going to wake up with his tongue in her
When
hand.
when
The
a
bed on
man
fire.
sleeps
Don't you
when a
ever
man
talk like that
sleeps
again, Joe.
when a man sleeps next to a woman, listen, I could fall asleep. Or he could be up just plotting my death right there. I wouldn't know. I'd be sound asleep, snoring
Listen,
and farting away.
we watch murder mysteries to relax. So
That is so true.
yes,
We watch
I'm just
Murder,
letting
She
you
People
know.
live
Wrote.
here,
Murder,
parental
She Wrote
style.
every night. Murder, She Wrote every
So
night.
let me ask
I
you
watch
guys
fucking
this:
cartoons.
Do you think that the difference in our generations, ours versus even up to the youngest today, has social media to blame or technology to blame?
Yes. Yes.
God, yeah.
100%.
I think it's a little bit. I think it's a little bit of everything.
So
One
if you think
more
about
than
it,
the other, but there's all
social media, internet, like social media is your own platform, right? Is your own podium. So not only do you get to speak whatever bullshit you want to put out there, like this podcast, you you also have to you also have to be careful because you have to watch the way people take you in because that could crush you too. So that's a whole other psychological thing that I
And
don't
mom
That's a
and
whole
dad
other
are going to
rabbit
bring
hole we
this
could
home.
go
Mom
down
and dad are
right,
going to bring this
right.
home
because
to you, and it's
you
going to say,
have
"You're
aw,
magical."
yeah, you have what they term as keyboard cowboys who
Mhm.
take no responsibility. They're probably, sitting in their parents' basement, typing
40-year-old
away. You're,
virgins.
I can't wait to take this clip and just put this on YouTube. Chris saying
that'd
keyboard,
be great.
and you're gonna get all the keyboard cowboys. You
Yeah,
watch.
you get your keyboard
Yeah.
cowboys
Keyboard cowboy.
who sit
Do it,
behind a
Johnny, do it.
computer and they're like, I live in my mom's basement. You know what? They'll never find me. I can say whatever I want. And then they go and they crucify you. And then you come back at them. And then all of a sudden you hurt their feelings. But these people, again, if you're going to talk the talk, you better walk the walk. Right. And they sit
Well,
there
in
behind
our
their little keyboard
generation,
and they
when you
feel
called someone out, you got punched in the mouth for it if
right.
it was deserved. And now
Correct.
you have, as Chris
And
said, the
now-
keyboard cowboys.
Right. And so there's no accountability. So they sit there and they say whatever they want to say because they feel, again, keyword being feel, that they can do and say whatever they want on social media. It's my Facebook page. I can do and say whatever I want. No, you can't. No, you
Do you
can't.
know, Chris, I have to say, though, it's not just on social media that they do that. It's in real life as well. You see those clips about Karens that get pulled over, and you can't pull me over. I have rights. You know, they perpetuate this entitlement throughout their entire life, whether it's in person, online, in their relationships. It seems to be everywhere. And I don't know that if it's just my
I wear the pants in the relationship.
intolerance. I don't know if it's just my
I
intolerance.
don't know. I feel like I come
to
from a
the
generation where we want to take the pants off, but whatever. Go ahead.
You're an
Well, that's
idiot.
because you're a whore.
Yep.
That's
All right. Well,
Come a little
Yeah.
closer.
harsh,
I'm
but
not
maybe
sure
that
if
was
it's an
accurate.
actual generational issue or if it's my intolerance of a younger generation that I don't
It's-
actually understand
definitely you.
or coordinate or
It's you.
or can communicate with.
I
It's
think
you.
That
Just like
I
it's
think
me,
it's
just like it's
both.
Chris and Dave.
I think it's both because Colleen,
I'm
I
dead
feel the
serious.
same way. I question myself, is it my intolerance? But I also think it's their stupidity and their
See, it's not my
self-righteousness and their
intolerance. It's my
entitlement.
stupidity melter. I can't deal with it.
listen, if you
Yeah.
have to be told not to eat a Tide Pod,
What the fuck?
right?
I think
Like,
the
you
biggest
just
thing we
you
worried about was
deserve
like
to
some
die.
dude in grade school eating a crayon because he wanted to see
Yeah.
it
Do
you
with the red
remember-
tip
Yeah.
like Jerry.
Yeah, or
Do you
chewing
remember
on an
natural
eraser.
selection?
how this all
bitch.
started?
Don't chew
Remember-
on your eraser. Now
No,
we
do you
got to
remember
tell
how
them not
this
to
all
drink
started?
bleach.
Remember how
Wasn't
this all
it the
started?
McDonald's hot coffee?
The lady at McDonald's,
Yeah.
she went over a bump, spilled hot coffee, and she sued. And apparently now, she won. And now on the cup, the contents in cup may be hot. Like, beware.
So apparently,
Really?
the McDonald's lady ruined all future generations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
So we
let's
can blame her.
Let's wrap it
let's
up.
bring it. Let's bring our closing remarks in, everyone.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think I
Colleen.
laid mine out there. I think I
Oh,
laid
Colleen's
mine out
out.
there.
She already
I'm
put
not,
hers
I'm
in.
not sure if it's my intolerance or their lack of common sense, but there's a definite disconnect. And while I agree that our men had more attributes that I think are appropriate, the younger generation has some things that I envy, that they can empathize with their partner's feelings, whereas before we were just blown off as being emotional. So I think there are pros and cons on both sides, but with my generation, we were a very put your head down, do it, get through it, and move on to the next thing type of generation. And we didn't need a pat on the back to complete the laundry. We didn't need a pat on the back to take out the trash. You just did what needed to be done. And I think that if we had
or your
more
parents
of
killed you.
that, but that
Thank
we
you.
kept the emotional availability, and the ability to empathize with our partners, then we would have a really good society.
Yeah, I think, I go back to what I said. I think the waters were muddied up between society, social media, all of that. But I also think roles played a lot into it too, where
Mhm.
I think growing up our roles were very clear. Dad worked, mom maybe had a job, but dad was the breadwinner of the family,
Breadwinner.
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Yep. And listen, I think that that's the good thing that's changed, where now it's more of an equal
Hmm.
partnership in households. But
Mhm.
where I think it gets messy is Kyle, I'm sorry, I have to disagree with you. I don't think that the young ones today understand each other in relationships. I think the problem is they think they understand each other in
Wow.
relationships. They think
We
they
also
read.
thought we knew.
Right, right. I think they think they know what mental illness is. I think they think they know all these things, and they use big words like, "Oh, well, he's a narcissist because he wanted to do this, or he was controlling the way he opened the door, or this, that, and the other." And I do away with it all. Again, stop throwing a bunch of crap out there and just
Mhm.
get
Hmm.
down to basics.
Mhm.
Kiss people. Keep it simple, stupid. End of
Mhm.
story.
Yeah, I
Dave?
I I agree with that. I agree with that. You just gotta keep it simple. And a lot of times they overthink stuff and they want to Google things. And the first thing you do when you challenge them on something, you tell them, this is what I know. First thing they do is pick up the magic think box and they type in what you're saying to them and they, oh, well, it says this. I said, dude, there's everything for somebody in everything you type to support any argument that you have out there. That's
Hmm.
out there. And I think
Mhm.
a lot of this, the loss of respect for the men of our generation and our fathers before us, that lack of respect, we try our best, and I can speak to Jay and I, we try our best to instill values with our own kids to carry on going forward. And I don't know that that's going to be a success in the future because I think a lot of the social medias, their friend packs, influence a lot of what our kids think and do too. Even though we'd like to think it doesn't happen, it does. And
But
we
your
can only
generation, Dave, earned respect.
yes, we did. We earned it. And to build off to something that Jay said before, it's like if you didn't do what we were supposed to do, your mom and dad would tear you up. Like
Mm.
they weren't having it. And that is where I think a lot of our issues come from now, is the fact that you can't smack your kid. I saw a video, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say this. I saw a video on, I believe it was either YouTube or Facebook not that long ago, of a woman who got called to school for her young child not doing what the teacher told him and using his mouth, and she beat the ever living daylights out of him on camera and said, "Are you ever going to talk to your teacher like that again?" He said, "No, mom." And she smacked him again. She smacked him like 10 times. And what do you think that video is going to draw?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I applauded
I
it.
mean,
I
just
was like, good,
listen,
good. How,
listen,
thank, finally.
listen. The problem is, like, we used to get cracked on our hands with the long rulers.
Hmm.
Today, again, that
We
would be
did.
child abuse. I
Maybe
did.
you did.
Yeah, I did. I definitely did.
I didn't.
Fuck you, Chris.
I didn't. I had my mom and dad. I went to school with teachers that taught my mom. So every time I got out of line, they would say, "You know what, Mr. Baggins, I'm going to call your mom. I know your mom. She was my student."
When we had second grade, John Denver hit me with her ruler.
Who?
John Denver. What
John
was her name?
Denver?
John
Yeah,
Denver.
He
yeah,
said
whatever
John
the
We
name.
had
Denver.
Mrs. Toussaint in second
Yeah,
grade.
I was trying not to say her name, Chris.
Yeah.
You fucking retard.
Country road, baby. Country road. Yeah. Good one, Chris.
Take
You're
me
right on the ball.
home, country roads,
Chris, you fall in for a hook, line, and
to
sinker every
the
time.
place I belong.
Chris is like, I know.
It
How
was
many
all me.
times have I declared I am an asshole? And everyone's like, no, you're not. Yes, I am. I have said this a
We
million
go,
times.
no names. And she says, you know who I dated in school?
Yeah.
John Davis.
Scott. It was
Holy cow.
Scott. No names.
Yeah. No names, Chris. No
I know.
names.
I know.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, Jay,
Chris,
you're gonna have to edit that one out.
Your final thoughts.
Is she still alive?
Okay.
Maybe we're
My
okay.
final thought on this
Yeah.
is I think there's a lot of things that the younger generation can
therefore I
learn.
am.
Correct. I think the younger generation can learn a lot. It's, it's cool to have manners. It's cool to have respect. It's cool to be respectful of others. Like, don't think that you're awesome just because you walk around being a dick. Nobody cares. No, that's just going to make people not like you, So the younger generation, I think they need to toughen up. I think they need to stop being so my feelings and you hurt my feelings. Whatever. I don't care. Whatever. Toughen up, just move on with life. This is the real world. Life is tough. Life will chew you up and spit you out and just keep on going. As we all know, insert Rocky speech, right? So, at the end of the day, the younger generation, they're exposed to social media where they feel that they have a platform, that they can say anything they want. We didn't have that. We spoke up when it was appropriate to speak up. And a lot of times we were afraid to do that because we were afraid of getting in trouble by our parents, and so they, the kids, it's kind of like a free for all, but I think if they just kind of take a look at how other people, operate and show respect to each other and have manners and there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you it doesn't make you a loser. It actually makes you really cool. So be nice, be respectful, treat women and men. If you want to, Jay, I'm gonna beat you. If you want to be all selfish, that's all fine and good, but keep your opinions to yourself. And if you are going to be nice and you are going to be respectful and you are going to have manners, then great. We're all for it. All three of you can go fuck yourselves. I swear to God. I swear
But
to
here's
God.
the terrible thing, Chris. I agree with everything you were saying.
I didn't hear a word.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But again, with that being said, and Dave just turns around. But again, with that being said, our generation could also learn from the new generation where you split the chores in the household and you're more of a partnership and a team than the woman cooks dinner, the man is simply the breadwinner. Like
says Chris with her unicorn. With all the haughtiness that she can muster.
But I think each generation can learn something from the other generations. And if we put it all together and take a page out of each other's books, and I think we could probably
We should have a summit.
Everybody's
That's
happy.
what you should do. Let's have a summit. And then let's get them all together. Let's see what happens.
Okay. And
could you imagine
I
that?
agree with you, but I think that as we proved that we demonize our previous generations, and I think that that's what the younger generations are doing to us, that we're silly and we don't know what we're talking about and they know best.
Well, I also think that is also an age thing, because really, like, our parents, we knew it all. Our parents didn't know anything. And as we get older, we realize, you know what? Yeah.
I have to tell you, when the zombie apocalypse happens and we're the only ones who know how to actually survive, let all them little Gen Alphas come at me then. See how that goes.
They will be the zombies.
Right.
I'm getting myself a machete.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Trees Company. Trees Company out of Port Elizabeth, New Jersey. Look them up. If you have any pruning or digging or any sort of yard work that you need done, contact Trees Company and ask for John.
Also, we have Railway Barbershop in Acco Ave in Acco, New Jersey. It is located at 2213 Acco Ave. Go in there, ask for Lindsay.
And we also have Axe and Arrow Brewery located on High Street in Glassboro, right on Rowan's campus. Ask for Ed Reyes.
And KMT Consulting in Glassboro. This is Three Friends and All the Things.
That's all she has to say about that. Thank you for joining us. This is Three Friends and All the Things podcast.
Remember, be magic.
Oh my
Sorry.
God.
Be
Oh my-
magical.
This is why you never trust Gen X.
Right.
Oh my God.
Be magical. Oh,
chaos,
I didn't
just
baby.
have
suck up.
college would.
Chaos.
Can you?
Thanks for listening to the show. Be sure to like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. See you next time on Three Friends and All the Things podcast. Real talk, real people. New episodes drop every week, so hit follow, leave a review, and tell your messiest friend to listen too. You know the one I'm talking about. Until next time, keep it real, keep it loud, and keep doing all the things.